It's the first day of the second presidential summit on gender-based violence and femicide in the country. Of course, a level of violence that continues to cripple and threaten the lives of many women and children. And during this two-day summit that is packed with many activists who are active on the ground, who are having that frontline and first-hand experience where they're dealing with many of the victims of gender-based violence and femicide. They'll be here with many stakeholders from government, some, of course, international partners who are here to have another dialogue, another gathering. And this is as we continue the conversations that took place in 2018, where we saw a similar summit that, of course, took place, the first of its kind then, and now we are here again just to take stock as many people on the ground, in particular the activists, shelters and the victims, are saying there has been no change. I'm now joined by Dr. Omar just to take us through. We've seen the level of violence. You work very closely with children at the Teddy Bear Clinic, but we've seen the disturbing level of violence against, in particular, children. What does that say about the dialogue, the summit that was held in 2018? Was it a success?
So I think it's work in progress. I wouldn't like to just pinpoint the issue of success. We have to look at the processes. Previously, children's voices were never heard. They were not platformed. Children in this summit, we've had a children's summit for children, bringing them across the provinces, hearing their concerns, their fears, their worries, and also their challenges and resolutions, what they would like to see happen. So I think we eagerly await the beginning of this summit to address the many things that children have tabled. But in response to the question, what has changed? So we still see 24,000 children who are sexually assaulted in a year. Every 5 hours a child is missing. And then we're looking at more than 900 deaths per annum of children. So of course, this causes or asks a lot of questions, that there are things that are clearly not working. And if we look at what's not working, it's because of the lack of implementation. We have good policies, we have good plans. The National Strategic Plan has certainly come up with the different pillars, looking at prevention, pillar 2, and looking at pillar 4, care, support, response. But even in terms of pillar 1, accountability, pillar 3, the justice. So this summit is going to address the very issues that you have raised. Why are children still being subjected to this kind of brutality? Why are children still living in fear, anxiety, and why are children being marginalized? Because they are a vulnerable group. Because the whole aim is to look at accountability, holding the people responsible and accountable for what they have not delivered and how they can deliver, but also ensuring that the best practice models, things that are working on the ground, that there's an opportunity to upscale and amplify, but also where people have not delivered or where things have fallen through the cracks, to accelerate that and to ensure that people are held accountable and that it is addressed, and that children's voices, most importantly, are heard and addressed appropriately, adequately, and timelessly.
All right, thank you so much. And that really goes to the impact on vulnerable groups, the impact that gender-based violence and femicide has on vulnerable groups. Children remain a group that is very vulnerable, and often we see that they also become a soft target. We've heard many experts talking about, the state of violence in South Africa. Also, the other social challenges that South Africa has, with unemployment being so high, inequality being so high, saying that all these challenges have a direct impact on how children are protected and how children are treated in South Africa. This dialogue hopes to find a better solution so that we as a society can collectively protect our children. On that note, it's back to studio.